The sleek obsidian ships of the Galactic Empire of the Seven Systems glided silently into Earth's orbit, their stealth technology rendering them invisible to conventional detection systems. Admiral Zextrol stood on his command deck, golden scales gleaming under the soft blue light as he observed the primitive world below. His mandibles clicked with anticipation of an easy conquest. "Another blue world," he remarked to his second-in-command, Commander Vexnor. "Resource-rich, but technologically underdeveloped. Standard procedure." The massive viewscreen displayed real-time images of Earth's major cities, military installations, and resource centers. Hundreds of conquest campaigns had made this process routine for the Admiral. "Launch observation probes," he ordered. "Full spectrum analysis, priority on defense capabilities and leadership structures." Within minutes, microscopic probes descended through Earth's atmosphere, their molecular composition shifting to match the surrounding air. They dispersed across every continent, gathering data on population centers, military bases, and governmental facilities. The Empire's intelligence network was comprehensive, perfected through the subjugation of hundreds of worlds. "Preliminary scan complete," "Admiral," reported the science officer. "Categorization: Type 2 civilization. Limited interplanetary travel capabilities. Nuclear weapons present, but no detected interstellar defense systems. Abundant water, minerals, and biological diversity. Optimal for resource extraction." Admiral Zextrol nodded with satisfaction. Another simple acquisition for the glory of the Empire. But 12,000 kilometers below, deep beneath the jagged peaks of the Himalayas, something unexpected was happening. Dr. Elena Kostova stood motionless before a wall of quantum displays, her reflection ghostly in the blue glow of the screens. The facility, known only as Deep Watch to the handful of people cleared to know of its existence, had been carved into the mountain's heart after the asteroid near-miss of 2047. That event had changed everything. Priorities, alliances, and most importantly, humanity's perspective on existential threats. "Director, we have multiple signatures in high orbit," reported Lieutenant Chen, his voice steady despite the implications. "They matched no known satellite patterns and appeared instantaneously on our quantum detection grid." Dr. Kostova's expression remained composed, though her heart raced. The moment humanity had both hoped for and dreaded had arrived. First contact, and it was not announcing itself openly. That told her everything she needed to know about its intentions. "How many vessels?" she asked. 7 large craft, multiple smaller support vessels, completely invisible to conventional radar and telescopes. We only detected them because of the gravitational wave sensors." Kostova nodded. The special detectors, technology that officially didn't exist, had been designed for exactly this scenario. "Initiate Protocol Sentinel," she commanded, placing her palm on the biometric scanner. Authorization Kostova Omega 47. Throughout the world, buried beneath mountains, deserts, and oceans, automated systems silently activated. Weapon platforms disguised as communications satellites adjusted their positions by millimeters. Power plants diverted tiny fractions of their output to hidden defense grids. In submarine bases and underground bunkers, special units received coded alerts on secure channels, all while maintaining perfect communication silence. No alerts, no panic, no public announcements. On his command ship, Admiral Zextrol smiled as the intelligence continued flowing in. "This world has no idea we're here. Let's keep it that way until we're ready for the demonstration. Select a target, something isolated but militarily significant. We'll show them our power and watch them crumble like all the others." Little did he know, the trap was already set. Humanity had been preparing for this moment for decades, silently waiting for the day the stars would bring either friends or foes. They had planned for the worst while hoping for the best. And they were ready. The Imperial Council convened in the crystalline chamber aboard the capital ship Eternal Dominion. 7 high-ranking officials, each representing a conquered star system, gathered around a circular holographic display showing detailed images of Earth. Another unremarkable world, noted Counselor Drez, his 4 eyes blinking asynchronously as he studied the projections of Earth's cities. Their most advanced spacecraft can barely reach their neighboring planet. Admiral Zextrol stood at attention, mandibles clicking lightly as he presented his findings. Standard Type II civilization profile. They've achieved nuclear capabilities and limited space travel. Their military forces are fractured into nation-states with minimal unified command structure. Resources, inquired Counselor Myrex, the oldest member whose translucent skin revealed the slow pulse of ancient blood. Exceptional biodiversity. Rare minerals in abundance. The water reserves alone justify acquisition, Zextrol replied, advancing the holographic display to show Earth's oceans and mountain ranges. Their technological development suggests they'll be useful for labor with minimal retraining. The Supreme Counselor leaned forward, 4-fingered hands forming a steeple. Proceed with standard protocol. Select a demonstration target. Something isolated but significant. I've already chosen a naval installation on an island in their Pacific Ocean, Zextrol confirmed. The demonstration is scheduled for their next planetary rotation. As the Imperial Council plotted Earth's future, Dr. Elena Kostova faced challenges of her own deep beneath the United Nations complex in Geneva. The emergency session of the Security Council's Shadow Committee had devolved into barely controlled chaos. "You're asking us to believe that alien ships are in orbit," demanded the French representative, his voice echoing in the secure chamber, based on readings from a detection system that officially doesn't exist. Kostova maintained her composure. The quantum detection grid has been operational for 15 years. It was specifically designed to detect gravitational anomalies, consistent with advanced propulsion systems. Convenient that only your sensors can see these supposed ships, the Chinese delegate noted skeptically. Kostova placed a sealed folder on the table. These are the carbon-dated documents from the Antarctic Accords of 2047. Every nation represented in this room signed them after the asteroid near miss. We agreed then that the greatest threats to humanity would likely come from beyond our atmosphere. The Secretary General's special envoy, a stern woman with silver hair, broke her silence. Dr. Kostova, even if these ships exist, what evidence do you have of hostile intent? They're maintaining stealth operations and deploying surveillance probes to our major population centers and military installations, Kostova replied, activating her secure tablet to display tracking data. This is not the approach of peaceful explorers seeking diplomatic contact. The room fell silent as the implications settled in. The American representative cleared his throat. The Antarctic protocols were theoretical contingencies we never actually expected. That's exactly why we've maintained secrecy, Kostova interrupted. While the world thought nations were squabbling over borders and resources, we were quietly building the most comprehensive planetary defense system in human history. As if on cue, the lights flickered. Emergency systems engaged instantly. What was that? Demanded the Russian representative. A junior officer rushed into the room, whispering urgently into Kostova's ear. She nodded grimly. The Pacific Defense Network has detected an energy surge from the alien vessels, she announced. They're targeting the naval base at Pearl Harbor with some form of directed energy weapon. The Security Council members exchanged alarmed glances. How long do we have? Asked the Secretary General's envoy. Minutes at most, Kostova replied, her hand hovering over a secure communication device. I need unanimous activation authorization for Protocol Sentinel. Now, one by one, the representatives placed their palms on biometric scanners embedded in the table. As the final authorization registered, Kostova took a deep breath. May history remember that we tried to prepare, she said quietly, activating the global defense network that humanity had hoped would never be needed. Across Earth, hidden preparations for humanity's greatest challenge silently shifted from standby to active status. Admiral Zextrol stood on the command deck of the Eternal Dominion, watching as the targeting systems locked onto the human military installation. Pearl Harbor, a facility with historical significance according to their cultural databases, yet isolated enough to minimize immediate civilian casualties. Perfect for a demonstration of Imperial might. Energy weapon primed, Admiral, reported his weapons officer. Calibrated for Level 3 electromagnetic disruption. No structural damage, but all electronic systems will be rendered inoperable. Proceed, Zextrol ordered, mandibles clicking in satisfaction. Let them experience a taste of our technological superiority. The weapon fired, invisible to human eyes but devastating in effect. A precisely modulated pulse of energy cascaded across the naval base, overwhelming circuitry and fusing critical components. Within seconds, every electronic system within the perimeter went dark. Communications, radar, defense systems, all dead simultaneously. Effect confirmed. Admiral, the science officer announced. Complete electronic neutralization. No casualties as specified. Zextrol nodded approvingly. Now we wait. Their leadership will panic, attempting to understand what happened. Then will come desperate attempts at communication, followed by capitulation negotiations. He settled into his command chair. It's always the same. Except this time, it wasn't. No frantic communications erupted from Earth's governments. No emergency broadcasts. No desperate pleas or threats. Only an eerie, unsettling silence. Admiral, his communications officer called, confusion evident in his tone. We're detecting no wide-scale alerts or communication surges. Their response pattern doesn't match any previous conquest profile. Zextrol frowned, four-fingered hand tapping rhythmically on his armrest. Increased surveillance coverage. Perhaps their communications infrastructure is more primitive than we. His words died as the tactical display erupted with warnings. Across Earth's surface, mountain faces were sliding open, revealing massive railgun batteries. Artificial islands in the oceans transformed, weapon systems emerging from beneath innocent-looking research stations. Most concerning of all, satellites previously identified as communications relays were changing configuration, revealing energy weapon ports that had been perfectly concealed. Impossible, breathed the tactical officer. Our scans detected none of these installations. Deep beneath Geneva, Dr. Elena Kostova stood in the newly revealed Global Defense Command, a vast underground complex that had been constructed in secret over decades. Around her, military officers from 24 nations operated a unified defense system that, until today, the world never knew existed. Countermeasures deployed and operational, reported General Hayes, the American officer overseeing the North American defense grid. Orbital platforms at full combat readiness. Lunar installations online. Added Colonel Zhao from the Chinese Space Command. Defense grid integrity at 100%. Kostova surveyed the massive holographic display showing Earth, the orbiting Imperial vessels, and humanity's now revealed defensive capabilities. Her room hushed as she stepped to the central communications panel. Open a direct channel to the Imperial flagship, she ordered. Use the linguistic parameters derived from their intercepted communications. The communications officer nodded. Channel open, Director. Kostova's voice was calm but resolute as she delivered humanity's response to the Empire's aggression. Attention Imperial vessel. This is Earth Unified Defense. Your unprovoked attack on our military installation has been registered as an act of war. She paused, allowing her next words to carry their full weight. We see you. We have always seen you. This is your only warning. As if to emphasize her point, targeting locks from thousands of previously concealed weapon systems simultaneously illuminated every Imperial vessel. Each targeting solution was precise, focused on the specific vulnerabilities of each ship's design. On the Imperial flagship, Admiral Zextrol stared in disbelief at the tactical display now showing Earth's true face. Not a vulnerable primitive world, but a heavily fortified planet bristling with weapons of unexpected sophistication. For the first time in his long career of conquest, Admiral Zextrol felt something unfamiliar. Fear. Admiral Zextrol's command center erupted in controlled chaos as targeting alerts blared from every station. The tactical display showed thousands of weapons locks from Earth's surface, orbital platforms, and previously undetected lunar installations. Evasive maneuvers. He ordered, his voice steady despite the unprecedented situation. Defensive screens at maximum. Before his crew could respond, the communications officer interrupted. Admiral, we're receiving a data transmission from the planet. It's bypassing all our encryption protocols. The main view screen filled with detailed schematics of their own ships. Every vessel in the Imperial fleet was represented with astounding precision, including structural weak points, shield generator locations, and engine vulnerabilities that were supposed to be classified information. "This is impossible," whispered Commander Vexnor. "How could a Type II civilization possess this level of intelligence on our fleet?" The transmission continued, now displaying recordings of Imperial communications they had believed secure, dating back years. Conversations about expansion plans, conquest strategies, and even discussions about Earth itself, all somehow intercepted and decoded by the supposedly primitive humans. Admiral Zextrol made the first difficult decision of his career. Order the fleet to withdraw to Luna's dark side. Maintain defensive posture and cease all aggressive actions. As the Imperial ships retreated, a worldwide broadcast began on Earth, in homes, offices, and public spaces across the planet. Billions of humans watched in stunned silence as Dr. Elena Kostova addressed the world from the Global Defense Command. "Citizens of Earth," she began, her composed demeanor belying the gravity of the moment. "Today, our world has made first contact with an extraterrestrial civilization known as the Galactic Empire of the Seven Systems. Their intentions were not peaceful. Their ships attempted an attack on Pearl Harbor, an attack we were prepared for." The broadcast showed footage of mountain facilities opening to reveal massive defense systems, orbital platforms transforming from innocent satellites into weapon arrays, and underwater bases surfacing in oceans worldwide. Since the asteroid near-miss of 2047, Kostova continued, Earth's nations have been engaged in the most extensive covert operation in human history. While publicly maintaining separate identities and even occasional conflicts, we united behind a single purpose: preparing for threats from beyond our world. The images shifted to show underground facilities where scientists and engineers from supposedly rival nations worked side by side on technologies decades ahead of what the public believed possible. The Antarctic Accords created a shadow infrastructure, a unified defense system spanning the entire planet and extending throughout our solar system. We developed quantum entanglement communications, gravitational manipulation shields, and energy weapons reverse-engineered from theoretical physics principles. Behind the lunar horizon, Admiral Zextrol reviewed the human broadcast with his senior staff. The Empire's intelligence failure was catastrophic. Somehow, this supposedly divided planet had maintained a planetary-scale deception, concealing their true technological capabilities and unity. "How did we miss this?" demanded Counselor Myrex via secure transmission from the flagship. The Admiral's tactical officer hesitantly spoke up. "Sir, we've completed analysis of their defense grid. The technology signatures are inconsistent. Some systems appear to be centuries beyond their public technological level, while others are cleverly disguised conventional systems." "Meaning?" Zextrol prompted. "Meaning they've been preparing specifically for us, Admiral. Not just for generic defense, but for our specific attack methodologies. It's as if they've been studying us for decades." On Earth, Kostova concluded her historic address. "We have chosen to reveal ourselves not out of desire, but necessity. The Empire now knows we are not helpless. We are not divided. And most importantly, we are not unprepared." As she spoke, humanity's carefully constructed facade fell away, revealing the true face of Earth. Not merely a blue marble harboring squabbling primates, but a fortress world united in silent vigilance, watching the stars. Admiral Zextrol paced the bridge of the Eternal Dominion, golden scales reflecting the subdued emergency lighting. The ship's sensors continued scanning Earth's defense systems, each new discovery more disturbing than the last. "Report," he commanded, mandibles twitching with barely controlled tension. His intelligence officer, a slender figure with 6 delicate fingers on each hand, gestured to the holographic display. "We've confirmed something unprecedented, Admiral. Human stealth probes have been shadowing Imperial expansion for approximately 20 Earth years." "Impossible," the Admiral hissed. "Our sensor nets would have detected them." "Not if they were designed specifically to evade our detection parameters," the officer countered, bringing up a new display. "We discovered this only after recalibrating our long-range scanners based on Earth's defense signatures." The hologram showed the Imperial expansion route through nearby star systems, and alongside it, the ghostly trails of previously undetected observation platforms. Hundreds of them, self-replicating and autonomous, had been gathering intelligence on the Empire's technology, language, and military capabilities while remaining completely undetected. "They've been studying us," Zextroll realized aloud. "All this time, we thought we were discovering them, while they were analyzing us," his second-in-command finished grimly. Back on Earth, the revelation of humanity's secret space program stunned billions. News broadcasts showed concealed lunar bases emerging from beneath regolith camouflage, massive shipyards in Earth orbit previously hidden by advanced stealth fields, and asteroid mining operations that had been disguised as scientific outposts. In the secure communication chamber of Global Defense Command, Dr. Elena Kostova prepared for an unprecedented diplomatic exchange. Commander Thexra, Zextroll's diplomatic liaison, had requested a secure channel to better understand the situation. "Channel established, Director," announced the communications officer. "Quantum encryption engaged." Kostova nodded, straightening her uniform jacket. The view screen activated, revealing the scaled features of Commander Thexra. "Commander," she acknowledged with a respectful nod. "Thank you for accepting this dialogue." "Our options appeared limited," the commander replied with surprising frankness. "Your defensive capabilities were unanticipated, as was your hostility," Kostova countered evenly. "Though not unexpected, given what we learned through observation." She activated a secure data stream. "With your permission, I'd like to share something that may help explain our position." At the commander's cautious nod, Kostova began a carefully curated virtual tour of Earth's history. The countless wars, the near extinctions, the relentless drive to survive that characterized human development. She showed footage of world wars, nuclear standoffs, climate disasters, and the near-miss asteroid of 2047 that had finally united humanity in secret. "We nearly destroyed ourselves many times," she explained. "Each crisis taught us to prepare more thoroughly for the next. When we detected your communications 20 years ago, we dedicated ourselves to being ready, while hoping first contact might be peaceful." The commander's multifaceted eyes reflected the images of human conflict and innovation. "Your species turned planetary division into an advantage. While appearing fragmented, you were united in secret." "Precisely," Kostova confirmed. "Our apparent disunity became our greatest deception." She brought up a new display showing the network of quantum listening posts humanity had constructed throughout nearby star systems after detecting Imperial communications by chance. "These autonomous probes mapped your expansion patterns, analyzed your technology, and even decoded your language," Kostova explained. "Not for aggression, for survival." Commander Thexra leaned closer to the screen. "Your paranoia created the perfect defense." "Not paranoia, Commander. Experience," Kostova corrected gently. "We've learned that preparation doesn't guarantee hostility. It simply ensures survival if hostility occurs." As their conversation continued, Admiral Zextroll reviewed the sensor data from Earth's revealed defense grid. The implications were becoming clear. The Empire had encountered something unprecedented. A species whose survival instinct had created the ultimate defense against conquest. "Prepare a full report for the Imperial Council," he ordered. They need to understand what we're facing. What had begun as a routine conquest was evolving into the Empire's greatest challenge, a prey that had studied the predator and prepared accordingly. The Imperial Council's emergency session aboard the capital ship radiated tension. 7 members sat in ominous silence as Admiral Zek-Stroll's report concluded. "Unacceptable," declared Supreme Counselor Draz, slamming a 4-fingered hand onto the crystalline table. "A Type II civilization cannot be permitted to defy the Empire. Our entire hierarchy depends on our technological and military superiority. The evidence suggests they've advanced far beyond Type II in secret," Zek-Stroll countered. "Their public technology was deliberately understated." "It changes nothing," insisted Counselor Myrex. "The Empire has never retreated. We will not begin now." A new hologram materialized, a massive vessel emerging from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. Nearly 3 times the size of the flagship, its core pulsed with dark energy. "The World Breaker has arrived," announced the Supreme Counselor with grim satisfaction. "Its contained singularity weapon will shatter this defiant world's mantle. The humans have shown impressive deception and preparation, but they cannot withstand our ultimate weapon." Admiral Zek-Stroll felt an unfamiliar sensation. "Tout. Supreme Counselor, I recommend caution. These humans have demonstrated—" "Your caution is noted, Admiral," interrupted the Supreme Counselor coldly. "And rejected. You will coordinate with Fleet Commander Vorkax and execute the attack plan. The Empire's supremacy must be maintained." As the Imperial reinforcements assembled into attack formation, Earth's Defense Command monitored their movements with growing concern. "The planet killer has a contained black hole at its core," reported Dr. Sergei Volkov, head of the Astrophysics Division. "Its gravitational weapon could theoretically crack Earth's crust if fully deployed." Dr. Kostova studied the tactical display, her expression betraying nothing of her inner turmoil. "Activate the Lazarus Array." Throughout the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, thousands of seemingly ordinary space rocks began to change. Surfaces split open, revealing advanced battle platforms housing gravitational disruptors, kinetic accelerators, and energy weapons guided by specialized tactical intelligence systems. Within minutes, the dormant defense grid, secretly constructed over decades, transformed into humanity's outer perimeter. "Lazarus Array activated," confirmed General Hayes. "All platforms report combat ready." "And the dimensional pocket deployments?" Kostova asked. Colonel Zhao nodded. "Scout vessels in position. They'll emerge precisely when needed." The Imperial Armada advanced toward Earth, led by the massive planet killer vessel. Their formation was flawless, their numbers overwhelming. By any conventional assessment, Earth stood no chance against such firepower. But this was not a conventional confrontation. As the Imperial ships crossed Mars' orbit, they encountered the first layer of Earth's defenses. The battle erupted across the solar system. Imperial ships found their navigation systems compromised, their weapons failing at crucial moments. The automated battle platforms of the Lazarus Array executed unpredictable attack patterns, targeting the specific vulnerabilities that human intelligence had identified over years of observation. Aboard the Eternal Dominion Admiral Zek-Stroll watched with growing alarm as his fleet's carefully coordinated assault disintegrated into chaos. "They compromised our command frequencies," reported his communications officer. "Somehow they're inserting false orders into the tactical network." The planet killer vessel moved ponderously into position, preparing its main weapon. The gravitational distortion began to build around its core, a sphere of warped space that would soon be directed at Earth. From Earth's Defense Command, Kostova issued her final order. "Execute Operation Lighthouse." Throughout the solar system, dimensional pocket generators, technology the Empire believed impossible for a Type II civilization, activated simultaneously. Space folded at precise coordinates, allowing concealed human vessels to emerge directly around the planet killer, having bypassed the Imperial defense screen entirely. As the final phase of the confrontation began, Dr. Kostova transmitted one final data package to the Imperial Command: the complete, unabridged history of human warfare. 6,000 years of conflict, innovation born from necessity, strategies evolved through constant adaptation. The documentation showcased a species that had turned the crucible of endless war into an unprecedented capacity for defensive thinking. A civilization that had learned, through brutal experience, how to anticipate and counter existential threats. The message was clear. This was not a species that could be conquered through conventional means. This was humanity, forged in conflict, united in crisis, and now facing its greatest challenge among the stars. The Empire launched its full assault, bringing technologies that had conquered hundreds of worlds to bear against a single defiant planet. Space itself seemed to warp as massive energy weapons discharge, targeting Earth's revealed defense platforms. Aboard the planet-killer vessel Worldbreaker, Commander Vorkax observed the battle with cold confidence. Begin primary weapon charging sequence. Target Earth's northern hemisphere first. The massive ship's core pulsed with dark energy as the contained singularity weapon powered up. Gravitational sensors across the solar system detected the distortion as space began to bend around the charging weapon. But the human fleet, having emerged from dimensional pockets around the planet killer, executed attack patterns unlike anything in Imperial records. The smaller craft moved with seemingly impossible precision, their trajectories changing at accelerations that should have crushed any biological pilot. Their unmanned, realized Admiral Zextroll, watching from his command ship, drone vessels with reaction times no organic pilot could match. The human vessels swarmed the massive planet killer, targeting not its primary systems, but seemingly random points across its hull. Each impact was minimal, barely registering on the mighty vessel's damage reports. Ineffective, Commander Vorkax noted dismissively. Their weapons cannot penetrate our shields. Singularity weapon at 60% charge. Deep in Global Defense Command, Dr. Kostova and her team monitored the battle through quantum-entangled sensors providing real-time feedback despite the vast distances. Quantum entanglement devices successfully attached to all designated points, reported Lieutenant Zhang, monitoring the attack telemetry. All 27 devices in position. Kostova nodded grimly. Activate the entanglement field. Across the solar system, the seemingly minor impacts on the planet killer's hull revealed their true purpose. Each point of contact had placed a quantum entanglement device, technology derived from theoretical physics that the Empire had never successfully weaponized. As the devices activated simultaneously, they created an entanglement field that encompassed the planet killer's containment system for its singularity weapon. The impossible happened. Feedback cascaded through the weapon's control systems as quantum states became entangled, creating a paradoxical loop. Alarms blared throughout the massive vessel. Containment field destabilizing, shouted the Worldbreaker's chief engineer. The singularity is responding to external quantum manipulation. Commander Vorkax stared in disbelief at systems that should have been impervious to any known weapon. Impossible. Shut down the primary weapon. We can't, came the panicked reply. The containment systems are locked in a quantum state we cannot control. The planet killer's core began to collapse inward as its containment failed. The human vessels executed precisely calculated emergency jumps, narrowly escaping as the massive ship imploded, creating a momentary singularity that consumed itself in a spectacular flash of energy. Throughout the Imperial fleet, commanders watched in stunned silence as their ultimate weapon destroyed itself. Admiral Zextroll, veteran of 100 victorious campaigns, faced the unthinkable defeat. As he prepared to order a withdrawal, his communications officer interrupted. "Admiral, we're receiving another transmission from Earth." The message appeared on his private terminal, detailed tactical data about the Imperial homeworlds, their defenses, and their vulnerabilities. The information was comprehensive, revealing that humanity's intelligence gathering had extended far beyond the Empire's frontier fleets. The accompanying text was simple but devastating. We could have struck first. We chose peace until you forced our hand. This was our warning to you." For the first time in his career, Admiral Zextrol understood the true nature of the adversary they faced. Humanity hadn't just been preparing for defense. Their survival instinct had driven them to map potential threats across interstellar space. Yet their moral compass had kept them from launching a preemptive strike, despite having both the capability and the intelligence to do so. He opened a secure channel to the Imperial Council. "Supreme Counselor, I strongly recommend immediate cessation of hostilities." "The Empire does not retreat," came the predictable response. "This is not about retreat," Admiral Zextrol countered, his voice firm. "This is about encountering something we have never faced before, a species that had the capability to strike us first, but chose restraint, a species that now holds the tactical advantage and yet offers us a choice." As the remaining Imperial ships regrouped, the Admiral made a decision that would change the course of galactic history. For the first time in its 1,000-year history, the galactic empire of the Seven Systems faced the prospect of defeat. The World Breaker had been destroyed by technology the Imperial scientists had deemed theoretically impossible. Half the invasion fleet was disabled or destroyed. Most shocking of all, the supposedly primitive humans had revealed intelligence networks extending deep into Imperial space. Admiral Zextrol stood alone in his private chamber aboard the Eternal Dominion contemplating a decision that would either end or define his career. "Open a direct channel to Earth's leadership," he commanded, bypassing the Imperial Council entirely. Priority Alpha encryption. In the war room beneath Geneva, Dr. Kostova received the unexpected request. "It could be a trap," cautioned General Hayes, his expression grim. "Or it could be an opportunity," she countered. "Prepare the neutral vessel for the summit. We'll meet at the edge of the solar system as a precaution." 72 hours later, aboard a diplomatic vessel positioned near Neptune's orbit, Admiral Zextrol faced Dr. Elena Kostova across a simple table. No weapons, no guards, just two representatives from civilizations that had nearly destroyed each other. "You could have annihilated our fleet," Zextrol began without preamble, his translator rendering his clicks and hisses into smooth English. "Your quantum entanglement technology could have been deployed against all our vessels, not just the planet killer." Kostova nodded. "Just as your initial scans could have targeted our population centers instead of a military installation. We both showed restraint." "Why?" The Admiral's multifaceted eyes studied her intently. "Your species had the capacity to strike first. You monitored our expansion for decades. You knew our intentions were conquest." "Because we built all of this hoping never to use it," Kostova explained, gesturing to a hologram displaying Earth's impressive array of defensive technologies. "Our history taught us to prepare for war while working toward peace." She activated another display, showing Earth's turbulent past, world wars, nuclear standoffs, climate catastrophes. "We nearly exterminated ourselves multiple times," she continued. "Each crisis taught us that survival requires both strength and wisdom. The strength to defend ourselves, the wisdom to avoid unnecessary conflict." The Admiral's mandibles clicked softly as he processed her words. "Your planetary unification was hidden from us." "It had to be," Kostova replied. "We detected your communications 20 years ago. We analyzed hundreds of Imperial conquest campaigns. We knew appearing divided was our best deception." "A divided prey is easier to conquer," Zextrol acknowledged. "Precisely. So while maintaining the appearance of separate nations, we united behind planetary defense." She leaned forward. "Admiral, we don't seek Imperial territory. We don't want revenge for your attack. We want only to exist without threat." Zextrol remained silent for several moments, then made a decision that would change galactic history. "The Empire has never encountered a species like yours," he finally said. "One that could have struck preemptively but chose restraint. One that developed technology specifically to counter ours without our knowledge. He straightened, his full height impressive even to human eyes. "I will advocate for a new relationship with Earth, not as conquerors and conquered, but as potential allies." 6 months later, representatives from Earth arrived at the Galactic Assembly, not as subjects, but as equals. The diplomatic vessel glided into the massive space station that served as the heart of interstellar governance. Dr. Kostova led the human delegation through the Grand Hall, past representatives of hundreds of worlds, many viewing the newcomers with undisguised curiosity or suspicion. At the center of the chamber, Supreme Counselor Draz, initially the strongest advocate for Earth's conquest, now stood to formally recognize humanity's status. "The Empire acknowledges Earth as a sovereign power," he announced, his translator broadcasting in multiple languages. "Their unique approach to defensive preparation and their restraint in victory has earned our respect." Throughout the assembled delegates, the whispers spread, tales of the small blue planet that had stopped the unstoppable empire, not through overwhelming force, but through foresight, preparation, and the wisdom to offer peace from a position of strength. As Earth formally joined the galactic community, a new term entered interstellar diplomatic language: the Earth Doctrine, the principle that the strongest defense comes not merely from weapons, but from the balance of preparedness and restraint, vigilance and diplomacy. The galaxy would never be the same, and neither would the empire that had once thought itself invincible until it targeted a seemingly unremarkable blue world whose inhabitants had learned, through their own tumultuous history, to prepare for the worst while never abandoning hope for the best.